Like the first
Usman
segment.
versus
Bore.
Usman versus Leon. 8 minutes on the main event. Who do you got? Who do you think's gonna win? What do you think's gonna happen? Starting now.
Um, Usman versus Leon. Easy Usman for me. Easy.
Easy Usman. So
Yeah.
this is the thing. I'll walk you through my feelings on the subject. I started watching the fight. I'm like,
Okay.
oh well. I'm like, I came into it expecting Usman to just dominate Leon, and then Leon had like some success in the first round. I'm like, wow, this is getting interesting. Then Leon just shut down, and I was so triggered. Like my reactions on this channel, I was so triggered by it. I was like freaking out. And then he knocks him out. I'm like, oh, wow, that was pretty cool. And I'm like, oh, but Usman was winning. He'd win again he'd win again in the rematch. But then I'm like, he did get knocked out. And I started leaning more towards Leon, and then Usman came in, and I'm like, oh my god, but he's so confident. and then and then I'm like, wait a second. And then I actually rewatched their fight. Dude,
Right.
Leon Edwards performed like a pretty. First of all, Leon Edwards' grappling is actually way better than Usman's grappling. He just doesn't have the cardio to be able to do it over 25 minutes. But he was easily out grappling Usman in the first round. And even in the second
Like
round,
defense, like the cage, tussling. Is that
hmm?
even grappling?
I mean, he was outworking him there too. Like on the ground,
No.
when Leon was on bottom, he hit a scissor sweep, stood up, fought the hands, broke Usman's grip, and then took
Yeah,
Usman
yes.
down.
If I could say one thing about Leon, it's like his execution of specific techniques is like flawless.
Well, dude, that's
Grappling
exactly what I was
techniques,
gonna like. That's exactly what I
cross
was
techniques,
thinking because I'm like,
elbows.
if you could take Usman's brain and his like ability to just minimize the errors he makes and put it in
Right,
Leon's body with his athleticism and skills, easy win for Leon. Like,
right.
not even close. But then like,
I feel like Leon is one of those like guys who's incredible in the gym. Because in the gym everything is so controlled. In the gym
yeah,
it's
you're
like you have
right.
time to think. I want to do this technique. Okay, let's try doing this technique.
Yeah,
Like I feel like in the gym you just dominate
like
things.
I
But
think you're right because we
real
saw it
life
almost
maybe
in real
is
time, right? Like
more
the
chaotic.
unraveling of his game, like in their
Yeah.
last fight when he just started getting
No, but
tired.
dude, like first of all, MMA is about combining techniques and doing them in the right succession. It's not just about executing specific techniques. So
Yeah,
already, like that's a big disconnect between what Leon does in the gym and what Leon does in real life. The
but he
second
still
thing,
he
the
shows
cardio.
flashes of brilliance, right? But the thing is, like, even when he was
The Gunnar
exhausted,
Nelson
and
fight, like his fight IQ is so bad. Like that's what I'm saying. The
his
IQ,
fight
the
IQ is so
picking
bad. I know.
specific techniques in the right succession at the right time. It's terrible, man. The Gunnar Nelson fight was really
It's
bad with
so
that.
frustrating because his
He had a blow off,
skills
but
are so good. Like even when he was exhausted, he was just able to. Like if you rewatch that fight, we have a mental image of Usman just like holding him down, right? But he's able to get back to his feet every time Usman took him down, like throughout the fight, even when he was exhausted from the elevation and just from Usman putting on like a huge pace on him. So he has the technique there. Obviously, he has like the striking technique is there. When he was exhausted, he was still landing shots on Usman even
yep.
before he like knocked him out with a head kick. Um, it's just frustrating when, and I mean, he was tired, which is why
Really
he
tired.
demonstrated Tyron Woodley syndrome and like backed himself to the
Yep.
cage and just waited for Usman to come at him. But also like he didn't even show any intent to not do that like when he wasn't tired, which gives me
Yeah.
some pause. But then he's
But on
like,
the other hand, like let me just contrast this with Usman. Maybe fifth round Usman, he should have like created more space. But in general, Usman always comes in with a specific game plan, executes it like to a T, basically. Even if someone lands, even if he gets landed on a good shot, he gets buzzed, whatever, he'll like regroup, come back, continue executing the game
I
plan.
know,
It's
dude,
like
his
he's
mental
like a train
fortitude.
on like a non-American train track, I guess. It's a regulated train.
Yeah,
He's like you
on a
can't
nationalized train
swerve off.
system. It's like a train running in fascist Italy, always on time
It
and to the
doesn't get
destination.
derailed no matter what happens in a fight. Couple other notes though, I'd say like Usman's striking defense I've noticed is like the Colby Covington fight, the second one was the first time I noticed this. It's getting like really bad, dude.
Dude, he
I don't know if it's
lost the
gotten
fourth and the
worse or
fifth round. Am I wrong?
I don't remember. But
L-
his striking defense consists of just like covering up, ducking his head, and like panicking, rolling, and moving
Yeah.
backwards. Like that's
His
his striking
striking
defense.
defense isn't good. And one thing
If
we
the
were kind of
first
texting.
shot of a combination lands, every shot of combination is landing. Like Colby Covington came back in that fight, landing some beautiful combinations because he just realized like if I just land a first shot, the rest of my combination, I'll just slow it down and land all my
Like,
shots.
yeah, that's the thing, right? He has the mental fortitude to stick to a game plan and overcome like hurdles and speed bumps that he encounters.
Right.
But you can't have it all, right? And what he's lacking is like the intuitiveness and just being able to immediately react to things. It's like he can see the forest for the trees, but sometimes you just have to be able to see the trees that are like in your way too. And he does kind of get
Exactly.
shut down. But the thing is Leon Edwards the guy that's going to take advantage of that? Like I don't see Leon Edwards putting a pace on him like Colby did or trying to shut
No,
him
it's not
down.
the cardio pace, but I do think Leon has the ability to land really good combinations in the face of a guy who's bad defensively.
All
I
right,
think it's like the
a,
classic.
a minute and a half left. Let's just put this to bed.
Shit.
The
Yep,
only
sure.
way I see Usman winning is how he won in their first fight. Tiring
Yeah,
him out, grinding him against the cage, winning by decision. I can see Leon Edwards winning by decision. Actually, quite easily, I can see him winning by decision.
sure,
And I can see him finishing Usman, either by knocking him out or hurting him and then submitting him on the ground. Um,
sure.
I think Leon Edwards can win rounds easily through striking, where if he can avoid Usman's wrestling and just keep it on the feet, he wins those rounds easily. We also have to factor in the fact that they're British judges, and I think if he wrestles Usman and gets it to the ground, gets a dominant position, Usman doesn't have a great game off of his back, and let's be honest, he doesn't have great control either. And um, Leon Edwards is actually like a really good grappler. What do you
Really.
think?
I think Usman, like I said, yeah, like it's like in the micro exchanges, Leon can easily come out ahead almost every time, but in the macro of the fight, Usman has better cardio and better ability to stick to a fighting plan. I think that's ultimately king in MMA, especially when you're durable and you're tough to
Yeah.
knock out, making it to the round five and then winning a decision. I have got Usman.
Yeah, dude. I mean, in terms of official prediction, I want to pick Edwards so bad, but it's like I cannot go past the fact that Usman has cardio and wrestling, which is literally the two most important things in MMA. And it's
Yeah,
just
it is.
like,
Yep. It's what
I
got him to the
mean, you'd
top.
be picking an underdog, right? You'd be like picking Pajera over Izzy to try to go for an Edwards win. Ah, all right.
Yeah.
Goddamn, though. This is like
It's
should
a
be a
good
good
fight,
fight.
though.
I
It's a good
think it
fight.
goes
I
the
mean,
distance.
obviously the elevation is an X factor, so we'll see. But I don't think Leon's cardio is as good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go the distance either way. To be honest with you. All right.
Sure.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow.